This is the Stories from the Subconscious podcast, a podcast that dares to challenge belief systems through the simple practice of storytelling. Because the truth is, we only know what we know. And when we hear trustworthy and inspiring stories, it allows the inner mind to naturally begin to ask the question, could that be possible for me too? I'm your host, Mae Deevy. Join me as we adopt expansive belief systems and celebrate the stories of those who dare to seek beyond what they once knew possible. Together, let's explore stories from the subconscious.
Today I have the joy and the honor of sharing a very, very special and a very unique episode with you. And I hope you don't mind. I took this opportunity to be out on my patio. It's a beautiful day here in Austin, Texas. The sun is shining. There's a slight breeze on the skin, and I just couldn't resist recording this outside. So if you hear some nature sounds, just let them take you to a peaceful place. So today, in today's episode, we spend time with my dear friend Cynthia, who is a mystic and a spiritual psychic medium. And she came to me one day and she's like, Mae, I want you to hypnotize me. I've got a few things that I need clarity on, and I want to use hypnosis. And I was like, yes. Okay, let's do it. But then she's like, but Mae, there's one more thing. I want us to record it because the world needs to know how incredible this work is and what is possible. And I was like, oh, okay, let me think about that. And so first our thought was like, let's just put some small videos out there, make some reels, da-da-da. And then it kind of blew up and became, well, why don't we just put the whole thing out on a podcast episode? And so that's why we're here. So here's our intention in sharing this episode with you today. 1, some transparency into hypnosis as well as mediumship. Like, what does it truly mean? What does it truly look like? And our attempt to normalize it a bit because, well, these are actually normal things. 2, expand what it is that we know to be possible. And that happens through experience. And sometimes there's comfort in observing or witnessing someone else's experience to understand the idea of what that experience could be like. 3, offering a real life experience to you, which basically hypnosis is something that really happens typically behind closed doors and behind closed eyes for the most part. So it's so special to be able to offer you, I don't know, maybe like that peek behind the curtain a bit to understand truly what hypnosis is from the experiential perspective. Because I could talk to you about it and spit facts out and tell you all the great things that even I personally have experienced, let alone all of my clients. But there's something about just experiencing it for yourself via someone else that makes it all the more impactful. So you may be asking yourself at this time, okay, but why would a psychic medium who receives messages via clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognition, why would she need hypnosis to answer questions? Like, doesn't she just know, or can't she hear them, or can't she just channel that answer from the cosmos? I get that. And to be honest, I asked Cynthia that same question. And you're going to have to tune into this episode to understand her reasoning behind why she wanted to choose hypnosis as the avenue to find this clarity that she has been asking for or been hoping for, because she had 4 very specific questions that she wanted answered. So in today's episode, you'll have a chance to obviously meet my dear friend Cynthia, and we'll do intros, understand why it is that we're here, and also some insight into the questions, the clarity that she is seeking, to understand a little bit the process of hypnosis and paint the picture a bit of what a session could be like. And 3, be with us through the process and live the experience alongside with us, which is so cool and so special. And Lord knows I didn't have that type of exposure the first time that I tried hypnosis. I just jumped into something without really having any idea of what a private hypnosis session could be like. So this is a very cool and unique opportunity to, again, kind of peek behind the veil, behind the curtain, to understand what it's like to be hypnotized and how beautiful it is. Oh my God, this session is so incredibly beautiful. I seriously am thinking about it all the time. Like, you'll see. I don't want to give you any spoilers, but like, to arrive at the place of the knowing, I can't. I won't give you any more spoilers, but just know it's so beautiful. Now, there is one piece. I want to be transparent with you. There's one piece that we're going to edit out of this episode. And typically I'm very transparent and I put everything out there, but this is almost I edited out what's called the hypnotic induction. Okay. And this is a technique in hypnosis where you, quote, induce a trance state. And really, what's happening is you're relaxing the physical body in order to then relax the mind. And when the mind is relaxed, it's referred to as bypassing the critical factor of the mind. And you're allowing basically yourself to have a direct conversation with the subconscious mind without having to interact with the protective and or judgmental conscious mind. So in that sense, you're basically allowing yourself to be a channel in a lot of ways for what comes through directly from the subconscious, which I like to think is the seat of the soul. So I'm cutting out the induction piece of what is actually, quote, hypnotizing Cynthia. And that's happening because it's not my intention to hypnotize you as the listener. That is not the intention of this session. So B, that allows us to go straight to the core session itself and offer you what it is that we came here for today, which is the experience of Cynthia being hypnotized and receiving the clarity and the messages that she received. That's what we want to share with you today, not the actual process of hypnosis. If you have questions about that, you can ask me one-on-one or reach out to my Patreon community and ask your specific questions. So I'm super excited. This is not something I've ever put out there before. So I'm very curious how you receive it, what you think, if you liked it. Should we do something more? I don't know. You tell me, but I'm very curious to put this out there. I promise I'm wrapping this up and we're going to jump into our session in just a moment. And I just want to share one or two more quick things. What is so beautiful is that as a psychic medium, one of Cynthia's goals is to help her clients, where she does these private readings to help them understand who they really are. And by that, she means an eternal soul that is made up of and by the divine, that you are a divine creature. And my goal is also, as a hypnotherapist, as a hypnotist, is to help you understand the truth of who you are. And there's a lot of similarities between what Cynthia does and what I do. Our goals are the same, and yet the process is different. And I had never thought about channeling and hypnosis in the same camp. And when Cynthia shared with me, but Mae, what we do is the same. It's just that with channeling, the message comes through Cynthia. And with hypnosis, the message comes through yourself. And that's what's really exciting about sharing this partnership and this collaboration. So I invite you to enjoy this episode and check out the show notes so you know how to connect with Cynthia after the fact. Or you can just go to whisperimlistening.net, which is her website, and you can even schedule a session with her, which is so amazing. All right, please join me in welcoming Cynthia Dillon to the Stories from the Subconscious podcast. Okay, we are kicking off a very exciting experience with my dear friend Cynthia. And her dog, of course, thinks right now is the time to start playing. And we are going to play, but in a different way. Cynthia, just thank you so much for this idea and the invitation for us to meet today. And I can't wait for this experience, which we'll get into in a moment. But I just can't wait to kind of be in your space because you're so wonderful.
Oh, Mary, the feeling is mutual, honey. Thank you. I'm super stinking excited. And like we spoke about earlier, I've never been hypnotized. So this is all brand new.
Yeah. Okay. So we're doing something a little bit different today in terms of maybe what you typically hear or experience with my content and with Cynthia's content. And our intention is to offer you what the experience of a hypnosis is like, or a channeling experience combined. And so we'll get into that in just a moment. But this is very exciting. But before we dive into all of those things, I would love, Cynthia, if you could maybe share a little bit about yourself and how you qualify your gifts and talents.
Okay, so I would start with, I'm a psychic medium and I'm a channeler. And I think I'm pretty stinking adept at trance and meditation. So having never been hypnotized before, I have been able to get myself into a trance-like state on my own. But this is super stinking excited because we have like an idea of the questions that we're going to go through that I've really been praying that I'll get some real clarity on. So I'm super excited about that. But with regards to my background, I have been seeing spirit and experiencing spirit as long as I can remember, back as early as like the age of 3. And what's fascinating too is it's not just souls that have crossed to the other side, pardon me, and have had a human experience, but it's also souls or spirit that has not had a human experience. So, yeah. So, and of course, the psychic part is where I can tap into people's energy and kind of view and feel their past, present, and future. So I think that's about it in a nutshell.
It's so cool. It's so amazing. And what I would love maybe for you to share even just briefly on is, I know, or at least I believe I remember you had shared that this is a gift that maybe scared you or you didn't know what to do with it for quite some time.
Yeah,
Did you
because I
like
was
push it
raised.
away, or like you didn't really accept this part of you for a while, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because I like if I was going to have the possibility of getting into a car accident or actually getting into a car accident, I would be advised by my guides, and sometimes I'd be like, well, let's just put our seatbelt on and be careful, kind of thing. And I accepted that part of it, but because I grew up in a very religious family, a big Irish Catholic family, very very loud, very big. I was not encouraged, like if I would see my deceased dog in the house and I'd mention it, my family would be like, well, no, that's not, he's dead, kind of thing. So I was never really encouraged to follow the path. And then, of course, because I'm now in my 60s, back in the day, it wasn't readily accepted. So, and having worked in the Fortune 500 company realm for so long, it certainly wasn't accepted there. So I kept it very quiet. Yeah.
And can I ask, what was it that gave you, maybe not the confidence, maybe confidence isn't the right word, but the trust or the acceptance to really open yourself up to the psychic medium ability that you have, A, and then B, to be as bold and brave and courageous enough to then share that with others and offer it as a healing tool?
It's for me, these things didn't happen overnight. It was kind of a process. So having experienced cancer, and then a couple of years after that, having experienced ayahuasca, it was kind of an unfolding, like like peeling back the layers on an onion, perhaps, where it's one step at a time. And as I became more clear about why I'm on this journey, this is it. This is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And being brave, brave enough to hear the messages and go, I don't know what the heck this means, but I'm hearing about a tricycle and it's with a cowboy hat or whatever. Just being able to trust those messages, even though they don't mean anything to me, was also part of the process.
Yeah. What I hear you describing is such an invitation to trust. And I know it's often said that anyone can unlock these skills and talents. Do you believe that to be true?
I certainly do. I absolutely do. I think that, it's like tuning a radio. So if you're, on an AM band and that's where you live, and the speech with entities and who we truly are, a divine eternal soul, um, is on FM. You just have to switch bands, tune it in. It's a matter of, sometimes you have to search for it. I think, when like if I don't meditate for months on end, it's not as easy to click in, so I keep up on my meditation and my channel, I guess you would say. Well,
Yeah.
that's clever. Yeah, so it's a practice. And spiritual, when people say spiritual work, it really is. It's delightful work. It's my heart song, but it is work. At least for me, it's not something I can just kind of cruise around and ignore. I have to keep on it.
Yeah, right. It's a practice. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and practice is a great word, isn't it? Just like any other practice, you have to stay on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, this is out of sheer curiosity. When you are channeling, oh, and of course, here comes Healing Kitty, of course.
Hello, Chad.
When you are channeling and receiving what you're receiving, is it a body feel? Are you seeing images? It's a knowing, a combination of it all? I'm just personally curious.
Yeah, since I've had this for so stinking long, I didn't even know, when I started going, okay, this is the avenue I'm supposed to go down. I had heard reference to the clairs, like Clairaudience and all of those. I don't really, I'm not very proficient at that. But at the names, like people would say, I'm a starseed, and I'm like, okay, let me go look that up because I don't quite know, what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I when I need to go, well, not all the time, but for a full reading, if I'm going to do a full reading for someone, I go into a really deep meditation. I actually do my readings before I get the person on the phone or on the Zoom or however we're doing it, or in person. I do the whole reading before I even sit down with them. So when I get into that meditative state, most of my work is done by vision. So I'll get a picture of an infant in vitro, and so I'll be able to see that, and then I'll hear, okay, this child did not make it through. So I hear, I see, and then I get body feelings too. Like if somebody is having dementia or having an experience with that in their human form, I get a feeling in my brain, or I'll get a feeling in my chest if somebody's died of a heart attack, and I know it's not my feeling, but they're showing me through my body. So those are my three primary avenues to receiving messages.
Yeah. And you know what? And I promise we will dive into the experience, but I also find you so interesting. And I know that it's so interesting to talk about. We could talk about these things all day long. And if I could pick your brain of all your stories, like we could basically have a whole podcast of just chatting with Cynthia. But I remember that you and I had a session together where you offered up your gifts for me, and you opened up your channel and you channeled a maternal grandmother is who came through. And there was reflections on my relationship with my mother. So this was my mother's mother coming through, reflecting on my relationship with my mother. And you said, I feel funny in my body. Like you felt dizzy. You felt like these physical sensations in your body. And you said, this is not the way. This is not the way. They're just saying this is not the way. Right. And I knew exactly what that meant, because at that time I was going to a psychotherapist and going through a series of ketamine assisted psychotherapy sessions. And what you were describing was the feeling of when it was intramuscular. So when the feeling of ketamine would flow through my veins, it was a dizzy feeling where I start to lose sensation in my body and begin to dissociate a little bit. And that's what you were describing. And you were saying, this is not the way, this is not the way. And my intention of experiencing those sessions was to do some healing in my relationships, specifically with my maternal line.
Yeah.
And that was so wild to me, and it was such interesting confirmation of like, this is not the healing that you need, so you don't need to continue with that anymore.
Yeah, I remember that feeling in my body, because I've never done that, but I was able to experience it through you, which is fascinating, isn't it? I just find that so interesting. So during that part, and it's so funny too, because I don't remember a lot of what because when I'm doing that meditation, I'm making notes also. And it's like an automatic writing that most people probably wouldn't be able to read.
Yeah.
But anyways, I remember that specifically because I had never tried that modality, and it felt so like paralyzing, like it just didn't feel good. And that was the whole idea, right? Is your grandmother was coming through, showing me the sensation and letting me know that this was not the right avenue. Yeah, that was something else.
That was, yes. I remember you specifically saying paralyzing. And I was like, that's exactly right. And for anyone who's ever experienced a ketamine session, or even recreational, if you've used ketamine, what they refer to as the K-hole, when you go into the K-hole is there's so much ketamine going through your system that you do dissociate, and you no longer have an awareness of your body. So you are like deep in these wormholes of your mind, and your body doesn't exist anymore. So you're not moving. So there is no body, so you don't move it. So there is that sensation of like paralysis. So yeah, that was, whew, and I'm just remembering all of that now. So it's kind of, it's so wild. That was years ago. That was, maybe that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood for sure. Yeah.
So wild. Yes.
I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, Mae, I could visit with you all day too, because your gift is so incredibly beautiful. Also, I don't know if I would be able to stand in a room and help people leave their conscious mind. I don't know. That would be. I think I'm a little more shy than you are, and I really appreciate that you're not. You're not shy like that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saying that. And so the reason why, just to give anyone who's listening a backstory, the reason why Cynthia and I decided that we wanted to have this conversation is because Cynthia asked if I could hypnotize her. And the intention being is to get some clarity on some things that have been on your mind and on your heart, and that you've been praying for, meditating for, and you just are looking for that clarity. And we had this brief conversation of realizing that you and I do very similar things, if not the same thing, in that we work with healing tools, but we kind of talked about there's these one of the main differences between what you and I do, if I can reframe that conversation that we had, and this I thought was so interesting that you brought this up, was, as a psychic medium, when you're channeling, someone's coming to you.
Right.
Someone's coming to you and they're asking for support. So they're coming to you and asking for support, and then you are channeling that support and offering that to them. Whereas, so they're kind of dependent on you in that way to receive that information for that session. Whereas for hypnosis, ideally, they are kind of transmitting it themselves. Like you become your own channel because you get out of your own way. You exit the mind a bit. So you and I are doing very similar things with the channeling, the psychic medium work, and hypnosis, and yet they are different. So people might be asking like, yeah, but Cynthia, you are a channel. Like, you have spirit telling you, hey, you might get in a car accident, so you put your seatbelt on and take extra precautions. So why is it that you need clarity? Like, why go to another tool if you have this incredible tool? If I can be so bold as to ask the question.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, because I do go into my own meditations, and I receive messages all the time. But there's this is really going to sound strange. When you're speaking to your own soul, um, my soul gives me the messages that I need to hear. It's really fascinating, because it's similar to when I'm doing the reading. So um, when I sit down to do a reading, I don't ask for any questions. I don't want any questions. I want to know what soul has to say. I want to know. It isn't necessarily what you want to hear. It's what you need to know. It's what soul thinks you need to know, what spirit is saying as a priority. Well, so with the questions that I have, that I'm hoping for hypnosis to help me with, they're things that I want to know. So I could get into a real meditative state and ask those questions. And I do on occasion just ask questions rather than just listen to what spirit thinks that I need to know. But this is like there's a number of questions. And I really think that because I've not been hypnotized before, I think that this may even open up another place. So for instance, when I'm doing a reading, I go into what I call the abyss, a black abyss, and there's a particular room. It's like a location, and I go into the room, and then I wait for folks to come in and join me. But when I'm doing my channeling to my higher self, to my collective, my guides, I guess my guides is probably the best way to put it. It's a different location. It's entirely different. It's a deeper, it's a deep, really super deep trance that seems like, for me anyways, it seems like it's more of a reach than just going into, well, I shouldn't say just going into, but it's easier for me to get into, do a reading into the room than it is for me to go into reaching to my collective. I would have to say, if you're talking about dimensions, I would say like a reading is in the fifth, and channeling for me would be, well, I've been told by my guides that's the eighth dimension. So in any case, I think that this hypnotism is going to be a different location, and I want to experience that, and I want to see what kind of answers come from that location.
So,
isn't that, I don't know, does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. It does make sense. It is a trance state, and I do believe that in hypnosis we sit with the seat of the soul.
Yes.
I do believe that to be true, because it does, many times I have experienced what felt like channeling is not a world that I am well versed in by any means, but there have been times, if I can just describe it in this way, that what came through me did not feel like I was the source.
Yeah, your person was not the source.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, my like Mae Deevy of Austin, Texas, in this time and space, like there was word choices that were used, phrasing, maybe even style of voice and how it came out was not of me, but through me. And yet it was a felt experience in my body. And so it was very transformative.
Woohoo. That's some deep work, babe. That's some deep work. When it's like when you get to meet your soul, I mean, people it blows my mind, because when I'm channeling, when I'm with my collective, I have learned that that is my higher self. That is my true, authentic, divine, eternal soul. I mean, what a gift! What an incredible gift that we have. And I'd say 98% of the people on the planet don't understand that that's who they really are. And to be able to tap into that, you go, girl. That's so awesome.
Oh,
I'd love to hear about that. We should do a podcast on that. I mean,
my gosh, I know. We have just so much
cool
to talk about. I'm like, but I want to also hear about all your near-death experiences and how those have shaped your life. Oh my God.
Right. Oh, and that's on topic, right? So I think that some people, when they go through NDEs, and I don't know, I've had two really super close calls with knocking on the door, going, "Can I come in yet?" Yeah. So clearly, I'm not done with my work here, but I think that some people have NDEs, and they're like, they come out of it and they survive, and they don't, their body survives, and they're like, "You're not going to believe what I just saw." And I think that there's some people that will go through possibly hypnosis or, any other modality, mushrooms, ayahuasca, anything that gets you out of your 3D experience, and remember stuff like that. And that's one of my questions.
Yes. Yeah. So I won't, I would say, like, yes, we've got these specific questions we're going to address in hypnosis, which, if I can share, or maybe you share, why would I share? Please, if you wouldn't mind summarizing what is on your mind or on your heart that you're looking to get clarity on.
I left my notepad over there. Can I grab it real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we're doing, not only are we doing the podcast, but we're also doing video. So excuse me, just a moment.
Yeah, no, take your time. We'll let everyone have a bathroom break.
There we go. Okay, so I had written down 4 questions, and oh gosh, this is so interesting. It's interesting to me, right? I don't know if anybody else is going to find it interesting, but so one of the times when I was in chemotherapy, that's a whole different conversation. So they had overdosed me on chemo. It's not a perfect science, they're like, "Here, take this." And so what happened was they had totally overdosed me, and they destroyed all of my bone marrow.
Oof. Well,
at the time, I was living alone, and so I was having a day at home alone, and I really felt horrible. And all of a sudden, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to pass out." So I did, and with that, I was out for a couple of hours, and I thought, what the heck was my soul up to during that time? Where did my soul go? Because it's my experience that when people have surgeries or, using other modalities that we've already talked about, or if you're having a body event like a heart attack or something, even though your body is flailing around and having a hard time, you pop out of your body. You don't, at least with my experience, you don't stay in your body. So I'm curious as to what my soul was doing during that time. And I thought, okay, rather than going in and doing my own, trying to retrieve my own messages on this, I'd love to see where I go, and have a conversation with my soul. And that's what we were talking about, Mae. What you were referring to earlier is, I think that we do such similar work because we both go to the soul level. I go to the soul level for other people most often, and speak to, tap into their energy, which is their soul. and tap into their loved ones. Well, you reach right into to people's souls too when you're doing your hypnosis. So I'm super excited about that one question. And so that got me to one question. I have four. Okay. So the next one is that I would like to have a better relationship with money. I think that this is a topic that a lot of people may be able to relate to.
100%.
And yeah, right. And there's no shame in anything. I think that I know that during this experience in this physical body, I have had moments where I have a great relationship with money and other times when I don't. And so I'm trying to get down to the bottom of it's an energy like everything is. And so how do I stay in the place where I'm free flowing and feeling really good about that energy? Yeah. So that's another one. And the third one is, how can I help my family? I have particularly a family member that's having a tough time and not knowing the right avenue. And I know that my soul has the answer to all of this. And let's see, the last one is direction for spiritual. Oh, so like I have not been offering to the public my psychic medium abilities. I only started thinking about doing that last summer. So I'm getting started on this journey, and I'm looking for the best direction. And I think it's so fascinating that our souls know everything. They have the answers to everything because they have access to our divine maker and maker of universes, right? Maker of worlds. So they have all of the answers. And for you to be able to tap into that, I think that's so cool.
Well, I think we're both pretty cool, if I can just declare that to be.
I'll take it. Let's do it.
Amazing. Okay. So thank you so much for sharing some of those questions and for sharing a little bit about you. I could, again, sit and talk to you all day long, but it feels like a nice time to transition and go into our hypnosis.
Oh my gosh. Okay, cool.
How does that sound?
Awesome. So I've kind of got myself some pillows and blankets, and I'm going to go ahead and just get real comfortable.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Hi, I promise this will be a very brief interruption to this fabulous episode, but how could I possibly miss out on this opportunity to extend an invitation out to you? Because this podcast is an extension of a greater vision that I have to connect as a community. It is special and unique to find others who are brave and courageous enough to be willing to expand their belief systems, to deep dive into and beyond what they know to be possible, and to seek what is true for them versus what we've been told to think should be true. And that's why I created a Patreon membership community, and it is a very, very special place for me. We connect on a weekly basis via oracle card readings that happen every Monday that allow you to then have this little nugget to hold on to, this focused awareness to allow your mind to seek out the theme of that week, and therefore offering you the space to have a very hypnotic week. And then we connect on a monthly level via various events, such as our Consciousness Seekers Book Club. We love. And we have quarterly hypnosis challenges, which is when we connect for about a week and do a daily hypnosis practice together, which I guide you through on a specific topic so it can really plant seeds of transformation within the subconscious mind. It is my most favorite thing ever. My Patreon is designed to be accessible and affordable, starting at just $5 a month. And I'll be honest, it's one of the factors that genuinely helps to keep this podcast alive. Because I didn't know this, but there's kind of a lot that goes into making a podcast. Who knew?
And I have good news. We have a new feature out on Patreon that allows you to have a free trial. So you can come on to our Patreon, see what it's all about, experience it for yourself, and then see if you'd like to continue or not. It's nice to have choices. So go ahead and visit patreon.com/belief system and join the subconscious revolution that's happening out on my community. We're having a really good time. We're expanding our belief systems and we're coming back home to what is true for ourselves. And that is not something that anyone else can do for us. All right, now let's get back to this fabulous episode. Get as comfortable as possible. This is your time. This is your
Oh my
time.
gosh, this is awesome. Okay, I'm ready when you are.
All right, my dear. All right, well, I see you getting nice and comfortable, and that is perfect. So take any final moments here to get any wiggles out, or perhaps there's a fold of fabric that may be sitting somewhere uncomfortably, and really just take this time to get as cozy, comfortable as possible, allowing this to be a free flowing experience as you expand now to arrive at a place where you feel incredibly safe, connected, trusting, perhaps even connecting with something divine. And when you're ready, with the sound of your own voice taking you even deeper, go ahead and describe for me what it is that you're experiencing.
New location. Um, there's a large light, and the color in the location is orange and red and purple. Lots of bright lights around. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's right. You're here in this new location with these bright lights that are so beautiful, orange, red, purple. Good. And I wonder, what does it feel like to be in this new, beautiful location?
Peaceful, very peaceful.
Mm,
Lots of love.
yeah, very peaceful and lots of love. Beautiful. I invite you for even just a moment here now to let that love in. Let in that orange, that red, that purple, that peace, that love. Let that flow through you now. Good. Beautiful. So that you too are flowing peace, flowing love. Beautiful. And now what are you experiencing?
Total peace.
Mm. Beautiful. Total peace. Oh, and noticing how specifically that total peace that you're experiencing shows up for you now.
It's got no limit. It just goes on and on. It's big. Everywhere you look, big
Yeah.
and bright, lots of bright, very bright.
Mm. Yeah. That's
Lots of
exactly
colors.
right. Mm.
Wow, this is a great place.
Mm. Yeah. So beautiful. Really allowing in this peace that has no limits, and letting it flow through you so that you too can remember that you too have no limits. Isn't that true?
Absolutely.
Beautiful. So here inside this new location where you feel peace and love flowing without limits on and on so beautifully, I wonder what feels true for you.
Mhm. Yeah, we're definitely eternal. That's great. This is the knowing. This is the place of the knowing. Yeah, everything's here.
Mm,
Ah,
so beautiful. You have arrived at the place of the knowing. Congratulations. And the truth is, your soul has guided you to the place of the knowing here today because you are ready to experience the place of the knowing. And here inside the place of the knowing, there is infinite clarity, infinite knowing, infinite love, and infinite peace, which I know you are experiencing now. And so I wonder, here inside this place of infinite knowing, if there's anyone or anything that you may feel called to invite into this space, to share this space with you. And if so, go ahead and allow them in. And when you're ready, share with me what or who, if anyone or anything, have you invited to join you here inside this place of knowing?
my guides and my guides and my collective.
Mm, yeah, that's right. Your guides and your collective are here with you now inside the place of knowing. And for just a moment, allow yourself to feel what it feels like to be in their presence. Go ahead. Really allow it in and make it real. And how does it feel to be in the presence of your guides and collective?
It's all the whole week. So nice to be together again.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. I invite you to take a moment to thank them in the way that you know how and in the way that they're able to receive, to thank them for showing up, because it is so nice to be together again.
Super bright in here now.
Mm,
Oh, super bright.
yeah, it is super bright. Interesting how the gratitude amplified the light of love and peace and knowing. Beautiful.
Everything's alive, Mae.
Yeah, that's right. And saying that out loud once again, even louder, and letting it take you deeper into this experience.
Everything is alive.
Mm,
Wow,
yeah,
super pretty.
beautiful. Everything is alive and it is super pretty to remember. Good. And the truth is, Cynthia, you've been brought to this new location, this place of knowing, and joined by your guides and the collective for a very specific reason. Isn't that true?
Absolutely.
You've been brought here today to allow in clarity. And so I know that you are open and receptive to receiving. Isn't that true?
Wow, this is so big.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, the place of the knowing that has no limits, of course it's big. It has no limits. And as you're experiencing what you're experiencing, I invite you in your own time to go ahead and ask your first question to your guides, to the collective, or perhaps into the vastness of the place of the knowing, and allowing yourself to receive the clarity about what happened after you did pass out during that treatment years ago. So I'll give you some time to go ahead and ask that question either out loud or perhaps silently in your mind, while I remain silent for a moment. And when you are ready, go ahead and share out loud what you have received.
This is where I came. My soul is very playful, unafraid.
Mm.
It's a place of total freedom.
Mm. Yeah. This is a place of total freedom, isn't it? So all those years back, you came to the place of knowing that time when you passed out after your treatment. Is that true?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is it. This is it.
And I'm just curious, have your guides or the collective shared with you why you were brought to this place of the knowing and perhaps why they sent you back?
It's just a break. I'm not done. You're not done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's brought that to remind me?
Yeah. That's right. You were brought to this place of the knowing as just a reminder, just a little break. Good. And allowing yourself to receive any other clarity or information about that experience until you feel complete, and letting me know once you've done that by saying, I'm ready.
This place is a place of no fear, Mae.
Hmm. Yeah.
This is where your soul goes.
Hmm.
To know the freedom of not being in the body.
Yeah. And is that what you're experiencing now? The freedom of not being in the body? Total freedom?
Yeah, and then I can see the body.
Hmm.
I know I have to go back. I don't want to.
Yeah. That's right. Breathing easily. Hmm. That's right. The truth is you do have to go back, even if right now you don't want to.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, what is it that you're able to learn here and now by being offered this very special experience of total freedom?
We're never really bound by our bodies.
Hmm.
We can leave anytime we want to. Wow.
And what a beautiful remembering that we're never really bound by our bodies. So I
Wow.
wonder if this is a piece of wisdom that you can bring back into the world through rejoining your body.
I feel like I'm rediscovering this, and that I've been here many, 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 many times.
Yeah. That's right. You have been here many, 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 many times. This place of knowing where there are no limits and you're able to experience total freedom. Do you feel now that you have the clarity that you're hoping for? But what happened after that incident when you passed out?
Body is so temporary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's only for experiences.
Mm.
It's like when you put on a pair of skis, you can ski. When you put on this body, you can experience humanity in its rawest form. It's only a game. It's only a game, you know.
Yeah. Good. That's right. The body is only for experiences, and it's really all a game.
Ugh. Oh, the stinking body is so uncomfortable when you get back in. Ugh.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's all
Yeah.
part of the game.
It is okay. Yeah.
Trying to fit back in. You know, our souls are much bigger than our bodies.
Mm. Yeah. What a beautiful remembering of how expansive your soul truly is. Bigger than your body. And your body is simply a vessel that allows you to have certain experiences. And yet your soul allows you to have the experience of remembering what total freedom is like, what peace feels like. And so I wonder if you might be ready to ask a next question into this expansive space, this place of knowing, to your guides, to the collective.
Yeah, boy. Let's
Yeah.
go.
I wonder what clarity you're about to receive about how to build or establish or have these better relationships with money. Go ahead and ask that question either silently in your mind or even out loud, out into this expansive space, and see what it is that you receive.
Another part of the game.
Mm.
It's just to see the contrast. Huh? It really doesn't matter. You can move it. It's practice. It's just practice moving energy. Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
This is something that can be done. Just moving the energy.
Mm.
And to move it, you can't be attached to it.
Mm. Yeah. That's exactly right. Even money is simply a part of the game. And it really doesn't matter. And it's just practice in moving energy, like in the so many other ways that you know how to move energy. And now you remember that in order for it to move, you can't really be attached to it. Isn't that true?
Yeah. It's brought forward so that I can learn. I was thinking it was so important, and it's really not. It's just a tool. It's brought forward for me to remember how to move energy.
Mm.
I'm putting this pressure on myself. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Feel the release of that. Releasing that old pressure that you used to put on yourself. And breathing back into a space of levity, of playfulness. And remembering that money is just a part of the game, that you can play with that energy. And
Yeah.
because you have this remembering, you've let go that old attachment to money. Isn't that true?
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
The personality I brought here craves the pressure. But it's
Yeah.
not who I really am. And as I see the pressure in this physical body, I respond. It's part of the game I signed up for in this experience.
Yeah. Good. Beautiful, nice, deep letting go breath. The truth is, it feels good to allow in a playful energy. Good. And I'm just curious if at all in the future, your personality has one of those times where she feels like money is very important. how can she be reminded that it's all part of the game, that it's just the movement and the play of energy?
I'm going to be able to move it easier. Now I know where to come.
Mm.
She's so stinking simple. Wow.
Yeah, it feels good to allow in simple clarity, doesn't it?
Hooey.
Ah, good.
That's so cool.
So good. You're doing so very well. In fact, I wonder if you might be ready now to put forward your next question, that next inquiry,
Yes.
the question that's been on your heart for some time of how to help you understand what your family needs right now. How can you be most helpful to your family? So go ahead and ask that question out into this space, to your guides, your collective, to your soul, and let yourself receive what is true while I remain silent.
Synchronicities abound.
Mm.
Seeing and being with them here in this space.
Mm.
Because I've already been taught how to talk to spirit. This is my avenue. Wow, this is the avenue here.
Mm.
Offering peace and love and communication here on the soul level. That's new. It's all here. It's
Mm.
all right here.
Mm. Yeah. Coming back to this place of knowing that you've been so many times before, to remember that it's here. It's all here. That there's synchronicities abound. That this is the avenue. Offering peace and love at the soul level is how you can best support your family. That's what your family needs right now. And that feels so good to remember, doesn't it?
So fascinating that it's all so simple.
Mm. Yeah.
It's like, if I could describe it, it's so empty, but so alive. It's
Mm.
like you would never run into anything.
Yeah. So empty and yet so alive. Mm. And I wonder what it might feel like to take a few moments, just a few moments here now, to offer up your family from this place of knowing that's filled with limitless love and peace, to offer them that soul level love, that soul level peace for just a few brief moments, offering them exactly what they need from this place. Good.
Their souls are coming in and they're resting. They didn't know about this resting place in their person.
Mm.
This is where you rest. Mm.
Beautiful. And how does it feel to be able to be their guide?
Awesome. I can see where they're not. The humans aren't ready to understand this yet, but it's all part of the plan. It's also perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all so perfect.
Yeah.
Mm. Good. Allowing yourself to marvel in this perfection with synchronicities abound. Good. And even taking a small moment to simply reflect on all that which you have learned, seen, felt, and experienced here today. This reminder that the soul is playful.
I mean, ah,
Yeah.
wow.
Remembering that money is just practice and moving energy. And it's all so simple.
So stinking simple.
So stinking simple. And you have this incredible ability to offer peace and love at the soul level to your family. Good. And breathing that
Humans
in.
are so silly, humans.
So silly. The silliest.
Reminds me of that song that don't worry, be happy.
Yeah.
So simple. Wow.
Yeah. It really is that simple. And isn't it interesting that here inside the place of knowing that you remembered that it's all so simple? Hmm. And as you breathe all of that in here now,
I'd like to invite you to offer up your fourth question into this space.
Okay.
Even though the humans are so stinking silly, the truth is they truly need guidance and healing and support at the spiritual level. And so asking into this space here now, how can you truly support them? What is the direction to take? Is it social media? Is it something else? Allowing yourself to receive this clarity now while I remain silent for just a moment.
I've arrived and this is the place. It's a door, it's a yellow door, but it's open and I can be in it.
Yeah. Yeah, this yellow door. Tell me more about that. The door is open. Have you walked through it? What are you able to do? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a knowing. I'm in it. But I can't stay there. Just okay. It's just pure energy.
Yeah.
And that's where all things are created.
Mm.
So yes, the message is, wouldn't it be beautiful if everybody could be here, if everybody could join? And some can and some can and some can't, because that's the contract. That's what they desired coming in to this human form. And that's okay too. It's all perfect.
Mm.
But if they desire it, because I'm tuned and able to access, I can describe it like I'm describing it to you. It's like a moment of clarity for them too. So all of our souls are desiring that, going home someday, but we're here for this dress up game. It's a dress up game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So fascinating to feel my soul trying to be comfortable in the body, just jerking around. It's such a jerky body.
Yeah.
That's just my reminder of how people feel in their bodies that they don't even know.
Yeah. Such a
Oof.
beautiful reminder. And this beautiful reminder via the yellow door and this experience that you're experiencing, that it's all perfect as it is, and that there is this place of creation that you're experiencing. I know it's important to Cynthia, this question about social media. How important is it? What direction should she take? So how does this clarity translate?
Oh, that's all energy too.
Hmm. Yeah, it is all energy too, isn't it? And is it like money that you can't be attached to it if you're going to play with that energy? Is that the same for social media too?
I had to adjust the energy. It was I was looking at it from afar, and now it's directly in front of me.
Mm.
One moment. Yes, this is um, as I step into each mode. It has a lot of arms and legs, and its location. Um, so I would say that this location is mm, has a density to it, but okay. It has great value, but not in and of itself, but only to those connections. The There is no value in uh, there's no value in the location of those access points, but only to the souls that you reach through there.
Hmm.
Such a strange place.
Yeah. Interesting. This place that has no value in and of itself. There's no value in the location of the access points, but only to the souls who are reached through there.
This is going to bring a lot of peace. So whether my person sees it as difficult is insignificant.
Hmm.
Wow. It's for my growth. It's for their growth. It's exactly what I signed up for.
Hmm.
Wow. Gosh. It's all like a cosmic joke.
Yeah. Yeah. It is all a cosmic joke. And the question is, are you willing to laugh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silly gooses. What a bunch of silly gooses. Wow. Yeah.
Beautiful.
All is well.
Mm. Yeah. Taking a nice deep breath here from this deeper place of remembrance, of realizations, this place of true simplicity.
Yeah. Wow.
Good. You've done such beautiful work in really receiving here today. And I wonder what, if anything, there may be remaining on your heart or in your sphere at all that you maybe would like to get some clarity on, or perhaps just opening yourself up to receive in general and notice what you notice.
Gosh, I'm really just playing a game with myself. It's like now I know when I put pressure on myself, it's just to catapult myself. What a goofball. Wow. Is it necessary? Oh, for Pete's sakes. This experience, do I have to keep doing it? Do I need to keep doing that? Not anymore. Oh my gosh, Ray. It's all a stinking joke. All the pressure I put on myself was because my personality, my journey was to feel such incredible contrast. But I don't have to do that anymore.
No.
Now I see it. Now I get it.
Yeah, now that you're experiencing the contrast, you get it. And it's perfect.
Wow. Yeah, it is. Nice. I feel like I can be free of that pressure now.
Yeah.
Because I can see everything from here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Isn't it interesting to see things from a higher perspective?
It's badass, babe. Come on in. The water's flowing. It's so cool over here.
Such
Wow.
beautiful clarity.
Yeah, man.
Well, beautiful, beautiful work. What a gift. What a gift to return back to this place where you've been so many times before, the place of knowing, and allowing that to open you up to another new location that has value, but not in and of itself. It has value by the ability to help others. The souls who are reached through there. Remembering that it's all perfect because it's all a cosmic joke. It's a game. It's all energy. It's the practice of moving energy.
Very cool.
And so it makes perfect sense that your avenue is one of offering peace and love at the soul level, the soul level, which is an energy level. Isn't that true?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What an interesting invitation to practice the movement of energy through the labels of peace and love.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful work.
Whew, it's game time, baby.
Yes. We'll go ahead and take a few moments here now to send some love and gratitude and that peace, that love to your guides, to the collective for their love, their support, their energy here today, helping you to remember that it's all perfect. It's a cosmic joke. You're a player in the game, and that there are synchronicities abound. And that these truths, these higher truths, are simple.
Stinking simple.
So stinking simple.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And in a moment, I'm going to begin to bring you back into this time, into this place, to invite your soul to come back into this body, into this incredible opportunity to play the game of life, to share in the energy of peace and love. So allowing that to begin to consolidate and be called back into the body, mind, and spirit. Good. Allowing your personality to be receptive, accepting with the soul as it comes back all that which you have seen, felt, heard, and experienced, and feeling lighter for it. So I'll count you back from 1 all the way to 10. And when I say 10, you will be fully back in this time, in this place, in your body, feeling lighter and incredibly connected to what is true for you. 1, wiggling fingers. 2, wiggling toes. 3, beginning to stretch the body out nice and long. 4, calling in a sense of comfort as you call the soul fully back here now. Good. 5, rolling shoulders back. 6, taking a nice deep breath in from this place. Good. 7, really coming back here now. 8, allowing a smile to form on the face because you are playing the game of life, baby. 9, allowing those eyes to begin to get ready to open. And 10, when you're ready, fully back in this time, in this place, in this incredible body of yours, allowing the eyes to open and seeing the world with a refreshed perspective.
Wow. That was so badass, Mae. Oh my God, that was awesome. Oh my God.
So beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Beautiful work.
Oh my God. That was so cool.
That is so awesome.
Wow.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh man. That's so cool, Mae. Gosh, can you do that for yourself? Because go in there, babe. Go in there is so cool. Wow.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Wow. Wow. It is a totally different perspective.
Mm.
You know, when I go to the other places that I've gone, this is a different place. This is a super, super, well, they're all so special, but this is a really sweet, this is a sweet place, babe. You can see everything from here.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
really cool.
Oh my goodness. How are you feeling? Your first
Oh
time?
my God. I feel, how am I feeling? I'm feeling like, I feel like I finally get it. Like
Mm.
it's not, there is nothing that is, there's nothing to worry about. It's all exactly how it's supposed to be. So, you know, when I'm addressing those questions, like particularly um, my family, they're exactly where they're supposed to be. And yes, I've heard and said those things to myself before, but this time I got to see it.
Mm.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And I think what I have found when practicing hypnosis, when receiving hypnosis, that yes, you can see things for sure, and it can be quite clear, that clarity is there. And then it translates into the body for me as a felt experience. Like what I see, I feel it, and it's experienced, and therefore it's embodied. And so the knowing is on a deeper level than just the mind. It's also instilled in the body, if that makes sense. So it's like a holistic experience, which you can't unknow. Like once you know something, and that's how it is now.
Yeah, exactly. And my body, oh my God, my body was doing this herky jerky stuff of trying to, you know, I was totally in that place,
Yeah.
but at the same time, my soul was like jerking around my body, like trying to get comfortable in it, you know, trying to, our bodies are not comfortable
Mm.
for our souls,
Mm.
or at least my body is not.
Sure.
It's like trying to settle into, yeah, just it's like trying to settle into something that's not, that has so many boundaries where you have to get into like every little end of the finger. It's like, it's not,
Right.
it's weird. My body was just like jerking around, going, God, this body is uncomfortable while being in the other place at the same time. It was such a trip.
Well, that makes sense to me. If we think about the soul or the aura of the body, like our energetic body is outside of our body. When we say that we are more than our bodies, that we know that to be true, it can be felt and measured. And then for you
Yeah.
to go to this place of the knowing today that you said has no limits. There's absolutely no limits to it. And so if that's what we're made of, then we're not designed to stay small. We're not designed to be encapsulated. And yet here we are having this human experience.
Honey, that was amazing. That was just off the hook. That was an experience of a lifetime.
Wow. So beautiful. You did beautiful work. You really allowed yourself to have that experience. And, this is why they say that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, because I can offer you these suggestions and I'm, a guide in many ways, but you are the one who is allowing, which therefore you are creating the experience.
Yeah. I felt like I was in control, because it's very similar to what I've done in my own meditations and trances. But this one was a different location, Mae. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it was such a sweet place to be. It was where it's the entrance to where our souls go.
Wow.
That's where I was.
Okay, no big deal. And earlier you were describing them as like dimensions, when you are speaking with the collective, that's like the 8th dimension versus the 5th dimension. Is there a feeling or a knowing or inclination of this new location that you went to?
I wouldn't know how to describe it in dimensions because I don't know much about what the definitions of those are. Yeah. But this was home. This was going home. This was at the entrance of the gates of heaven.
Wow. Whoa.
Okay. I take it in, babe, because it's mind blowing.
Wow. So epic. So epic. I mean, there's so much that could be said about that. And so let me ask this question now that you have been at the gates of heaven. What do you feel is the most valuable thing that you're taking away from this experience that you just had?
The clarity about this just being an experience. It's okay. Here's a good analogy, I think. So say you're trying to describe Rocky Road ice cream to somebody, and you can say, this is the temperature, this is the texture, this is the flavor. You can describe all that and know all of that, but until you put it in your mouth, you don't know it. That's what this was like. It was like being able to describe it all, but when you actually put it in your mouth, when you actually go to that place, you don't know. You really don't know. I mean, you can describe it, but until you do it, it's really, really, it's, I think I think I did a pretty good job of describing it when I was there, but there were parts that you can't even describe.
Right. Yeah, no, in these experiences, words are a lesser form of communication. There's not a vastness available in words to describe felt experiences.
Wow. That was, it's more than I thought it would be. It's much more than I thought it would be.
Wow.
Yeah. I was able to go so far out into the abyss in this different location.
Hmm.
It's a
Wow.
lot more than I thought it would be. Yeah. Because for me, because I don't know if it's because I'm practiced at going there
Yeah.
in a sense.
Yeah.
But I am walking away from this going, there's no reason to worry about anything
Wow.
ever again.
Ooh.
How about them apples?
Wow. Honestly. Wow.
Honestly, yeah. Now, I think that, being a human, just like, like for me, I'm not afraid to die. But I think that if instinctually, because I'm in the body, say if I was choking or something, I'd be like, God, I don't want to choke. How do I stop
Yeah.
choking?
Right.
I think because our bodies have these mechanisms built in, I think I might experience that. But man, I know that I would quickly shift to where we're going. Let's go. But I really, really, really hope that other people can get to where I was.
Hmm.
That was truth. That was, there isn't anything else. This is just
Wow.
a fascinating school that we signed up for, and nothing is to be taken seriously.
Hmm. God, that there is a lot of there's such an invitation to like let shit go with that alone.
Wow, right?
Yeah, and I'm so curious how, and perhaps you don't know until you know, but how do you feel that this may support you in your channeling?
Because I think it felt so easy to go there,
Mm,
even though I've not, well, okay, in this body, I didn't think that I had ever been there before, but when I was in there, it was like, oh, well, I've been here so many times, so many, 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 many times.
yeah.
Um, Now that I know that,
Uh-huh.
and I know that I knew that, but I didn't know it. It was like the ice cream, I didn't know it on that level.
Yeah.
So I think that even with knowing that so many people don't ever get that experience while they're in this body,
Yeah.
any glimpse, any part of what I can give them when I'm doing a reading or channeling or any of that stuff, any glimpse that I can give them to reassure them in this body, in this experience, in this world, um, I feel like it's so right.
Mm,
It's so comforting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
So I feel really super motivated to be that channel, to be that person and
you
continue to
are.
share.
Yeah, and you are. You are. And it's simple and it's perfect and it's all energy and it's playful. And I think if I had to describe you in so many words, those probably would be some of them, especially
Wow.
playful. Yeah.
It's so, our our world, we can perceive it as quite serious and quite intense.
Yeah.
Or at least that's the journey that I somewhat signed up for. But our souls are stinking playful, man. Just like, whoa, it's just so fun. It's really fun. There's
Aw.
no, there's no heaviness at all over there. It's all
Mm,
just so cool. Yeah.
yeah.
I did have a lot of body experiences too. I don't know if you get that a lot, but just, you know, it was like my body was herky jerky while I was out there, I don't
Yeah.
know. Do you see that a lot? Does that happen?
Yeah, I think it's pretty normal, again, whatever that means. But
Right.
pretty, I guess, a common occurrence to have body experiences. And even for you, if I can share this reflection, because obviously I have the advantage of observing, and I knew that you had entered into a trance state because I saw a shift in your eyes.
Oh,
So
wow.
physically, there are indications where we can even notice when someone has entered into a trance state.
Wow.
And so I knew that to be true for you because you started to flicker the eyes a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, our body too is a receptor, like you're talking about the radio channels earlier, like our body also offers up these forms of communication. Again, where words can be so lacking, sometimes the body says a lot.
yeah. Yeah. I had not experienced that. Uh, well, I've had similar experiences, I guess, when I've done breath work
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes when I'm way, way, way deep in trance, but not like this. This was different. This
Yeah.
was like trying to, this was different in as much as I was trying to settle my soul
Mm.
into the body while I was out of my body. While I was in the other location, I was trying to keep my soul as comfortable. I would say, like, the piece of my soul that was still with my body was just
Mm-hmm.
like trying to, I don't know, it was like going in and going out of the body, but
Yeah.
trying to settle whenever I get into the body, it was so uncomfortable that I was
Interesting.
trying to settle into it.
Mm.
And I'm still feeling that kind of vibration, just kind of, yeah, where my body is just
Yeah.
still reacting to the energy of my soul being back in it. Yeah.
100%.
Wow.
So
That's unique.
beautiful.
That feels so unique, but I guess that's
Yeah.
what we do.
That's just what we do here on Earth.
Right.
Coming to you from Earth, baby. Um, oh my gosh. And now I know that you like know what to do and you have so many tools and resources. And you might find it to be particularly helpful after this session to maybe, well, I don't know if you have grass available to you, but to earth yourself, to ground yourself and connect with that grounded
Yeah.
energy,
Yeah.
just to,
That's exactly what I need. Yeah.
yeah, reemphasize to the soul that, we have chosen to be here. This is our contract. We gotta see this thing through to the end. So just to really invite in that integration and that homecoming of back into the
Yeah.
body. And so that maybe that's earthing, maybe that's a bath, maybe I don't know, maybe that's having like a red steak, whatever it is. But and I know you know what to do, but just in case that's helpful for someone else to hear as well.
Yeah, that's a really, really great idea. And fortunately, I am about a 2-minute walk from the beach. So I'll go down there and lay on the planet and go, okay,
Oh
give
my
me your
God.
vibration, baby. Let's sync up again,
Yes. That sounds perfect.
Right.
Oh my
Yeah, yeah.
goodness.
Oh my gosh, honey. Thank you so much.
Oh,
I'm just so full. My heart is so full for you. And
oh my
I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you for this invitation. Thank you for the trust. Thank you for being
Oh,
open
yeah.
to receiving. Just, I can't thank you enough. And I was in it with you. Like we were there together, and I loved the journey. So thanks for the ride. Thanks for letting me accompany you, be a co-pilot.
Yeah, baby. That was so cool. Yeah.
Before we leave, I would love for you to share how people can connect with you if they're interested in just hearing more about you, learning, connecting with you. How can I do that?
Yeah. So I have my website. It's called Whisper I'm Listening. And it's whisperimlistening.net. Think of it as landing in a net. And also my email address is cynthia@whisperimlistening.net.
Amazing.
Yeah. So invitation is out there. Check it out. Yeah. See if you want to connect. And I'm happy to be of service. Yeah. Oh, and I'm also on Instagram.
And I see you out on TikTok.
YouTube. Yeah. So yeah, and I'm just breaking into those, like maybe about a month or two.
Right?
Yeah, man. So yeah, just getting started. So TikTok, Instagram, and also YouTube, and it's all the same. Whisper I'm Listening.
Good. And
I think I'm sorry. Go ahead, hon.
Go ahead. No, please.
So on the Instagram and TikTok, it's I think on one of them or two, on both of them, there's no spaces. But on the YouTube, it's Whisper I'm Listening as you would write it out. Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you. And we can include all of that in the show notes too, to make it super easy. And personally, I can vouch for how incredible and connected Cynthia is. She has offered multiple sessions for me, and exceeded expectations is the only way that I can say that with words, and yet it is beyond words. So personally, I vouch, and it was unbelievable. So if you at all are curious, she is a beautiful holder of space and an incredible psychic medium.
Yay, Mae. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I love you.
I feel so relaxed. I love you too.
I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Cynthia.
That was fantastic, my love. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been another fabulous episode of the Stories from the Subconscious podcast. For more podcast goodies, hypnosis offerings, even a consciousness expanding book club, and so much more, visit patreon.com/belief system. And finally, I know the thing about stories is that the more that they are shared, the more powerful they become. So please share this episode or leave a review of what resonated with you most, because you never know who you may help in the process. Until next time, storytellers, stay curious.